Good evening, everyone. It's Monday night, and this is Alan Roark with the state semifinal edition of Inside Wildcat Football on News Radio 1400 KTEM on your AM dial. We are here live at Wings Pizza and Things on HK Dodge and Loop in Temple, Texas, being hosted by owner Mike Dent. Tonight's show is also brought to you by our sponsors, Las Vegas Jewelers, with over 50 years of jewelry expertise in design and sales here in Temple, and Howell Dental Associates, owned by Dr. John Howell, former Wildcat fullback and in practice here in Temple for almost 40 years. Inside Wildcat Football is the weekly radio show where Wildcat fans from all over get to hear head coach Scott Stewart break down last Friday night's game and take a look ahead to the matchup the Wildcats will have the next Friday. So tonight we have Coach Stewart here with us. After a big win on Saturday night up in Arlington, we've also got Kent Boyd, who is the Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Operations of Temple ISD, and we want to hear from him as not only a TISD administrator, but also as a Wildcat fan who was on the sidelines there Saturday night at AT&T Stadium. And then third up, we're going to have Lennon Coley, who is our professional bracketologist, and we're going to go over what's left and what else is going on in the brackets in the playoffs. So, well, Coach Stewart, did you get any sleep Saturday night or?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot.
Or Sunday morning?
It ain't time to sleep. The sleep will come, and I may sleep for a week at some point, but right now ain't the time. So we just got to try to find a way to get a little bit better, and that's all you can do is try to get a little bit better tomorrow than we were today, and see where it goes from there.
Well, we really appreciate you being here today. I know how busy you are and how little you probably get to see your family right now with all the stuff you got going on and everything, and we really do appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to be with us here tonight.
Oh, it's awesome. I love being a part of everything that is Temple. So, I'm honored to be here, and I'm honored to be a part of this community and this sports town. I've been all over the state of Texas, and I tell people, and until you go somewhere else, you don't understand. These kids don't know any different. Temple's not everywhere. You don't go at midnight and put probably close to 10,000 fans in Jerry World 2.5 hours away at midnight and not be somewhere special. So, if I got to come spend a couple minutes on a Monday afternoon, Monday evening, that part to me, going to pep rallies, that's an honor to me because the commitment that these people, that this community puts into its football and sports programs, period. It's part of the identity of this town. I love this town. It's a blue-collar town. It's got a hospital, a train station, and a bunch of sports nuts, and so it's just right. it's fun to live here. It's fun to coach here. It's an honor to serve these kids in this community. So I couldn't be prouder. So this kind of stuff is just it's awesome.
Well, you're a testament to our fans on Saturday night. I think it was during the first quarter, and I had never seen this happen before, when the referee gave our side a warning because our band was playing during their offensive set, their offensive cadence, right? And so he gave us a warning saying, if you do that, that's a 15-yard penalty, and there's actually a rule that says that. I didn't know that rule existed.
It's communism. But
well, I agree. The game before us, they did it the whole game.
Right.
But
you get some of these officials are paper thin, skin, and I tell you what, it is a rule, so I can't get mad at them and follow the letter of the rule. Letter of the law. I just ain't never heard anything about it. Mr. Medina came up to me and said, I apologize. I said, look, dude, you play loud. We got the best band in the state of Texas.
I agree.
We got the best band. We got the best band director I've ever, not only I've ever been around, because I've only been about 4 or 5 schools, but I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Most of the time, most places there's a rift between, because there's some kind of secret code, secret rule where, they're trying to steal each other's athletes. We got kids in the band that play football. We got kids in the football that play band and other sports, and I say bring it on. So I told Bob Medina, I said, you play loud, you play often, you play whatever you want, play with all your heart and soul, and if we get a penalty, we'll get a penalty. But, I guess it is a rule. He said they're going to enforce it because it's indoor, and I said, well, I just watched 2 games, and I've watched about 10 games in AT&T Stadium. And I ain't never heard of it. I tell you what, I love our fans because when they told the band to shut up, our fans got real loud. So bring it. Be careful what you ask for, because the Wildcat faithful will act a fool up in AT&T.
Hey, and we are famous. Our fan base is famous. There was a writer for the Dallas Morning News sports page in there that tweeted out, these fans are loud, all caps, and when they told their band to stop playing, they got even louder.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we made it. Our fans are famous throughout the state of Texas. And, man, I'm telling you what, we could hear them up in that press box booth when they told the band to stop playing. I mean, it got many times louder. Our fans went nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I love them. I love them.
Yeah.
They're a passionate folk. You know, I mean,
that's true.
They sometimes I'm an idiot. Sometimes, sometimes they drink the Kool-Aid, and sometimes they want to set me on fire. But I deal with passionate people. I love passionate people, even though if it's misplaced or if it don't agree with me or they don't like me, I respect passion. I respect people that have passion, people that go through this life and just kind of bump into walls and just kind of do their due and are miserable behind whatever they're doing. I mean, I love the fact that our people and that the anger is passion, just like love is. So I'll take the good, the bad, and the ugly, because I'll tell you what, somebody being mad at me for not doing well is better than nobody caring. So I'll take that all day, every day.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And before we get to the game, I wanted to say that this is something that we are really pushing this week online and at the radio station, K1017 FM, is we're calling it Wildcat Mission 20K. We want to put 20,000 fans in the seats for you on Saturday. So that's our big goal. So everybody listening, we need you at Bobcat Stadium at 2 o'clock on Saturday. Get there early. The gates open 90 minutes before the game. And if there's a bunch of blue people sitting on the visitor's side, there are less seats for the other team. So we need everybody that can
Well,
hear
if I'm not mistaken, they let you tailgate there too, don't they?
I believe so.
I think we played there 2 years ago, and if the rules have changed, I don't want to misspeak and make everybody mad at me. But 2 years ago, I know that a bunch of our fans got there and were fired up because they were tailgating. So I
believe so, and actually that's something I'm going to be talking about online, is putting that together. We've got Sergeant John Cooper, who graduated in '88. He was a running back then, and he wants to bring his grill and do all that kind of stuff. So we're going to pick out a spot and have a kind of a centralized location for all the Wildcat fans to hoot and holler up to, several hours before the game if they want to.
I'll tell you what, just to throw our little bone in it, not that anybody owes me anything, but just out of respect for our fans, I talked to the athletic director of the team we're playing this week, and we decided to go $6 and $4 on the tickets because 10,000 people paid $15 a head last week, so it's time to it's time to pay a little bit back, and maybe that encourages you to get in your car and go down there. It's only $6 to go watch a dadgum good football game, so
no doubt.
If the tickets will be on sale Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at our athletics office. If you buy it early, it's $6. If you buy it at the gate, it's $10. But
Still,
I'd go watch a semifinal game for $6.
I'd go for 10. I'd go for 25. But we're big fans of the game, obviously. But man, that's have you ever heard of a Final Four ticket for $6?
Nope.
Anywhere, nowhere. Well, I guess we need to move on and talk about Saturday night's game against the Manvel Mavericks. This is a team that was undefeated until Saturday and had rolled over everybody all year long. I think they were averaging, 40, 50 points a game?
They were averaging 52-8 was their average margin of victory.
52-8.
Yes, sir.
And then they finally played a real defense, it seems like.
I don't know about that, but, our kids played well, so Steve Prentice just texted me, tailgating is allowed. So
all
bring
right,
it. I guess he's listening.
Go.
Love you, Steve.
Hey, we're gonna put up details on Inside Wildcat Football via K1017 about tailgating on Saturday. But back to the Manvel Mavericks game. No, man. We need to hear all that. We need everybody to know that because we need as many people there as we can get. So
I'm gonna tell you what. I have a lot of faith. But I'm gonna tell you what. There's a lot of things you can measure in this world, and talent's one of them. And I'm gonna tell you this: if we played the Manvel Mavericks on paper, they would kick our butt 100 times out of 100. There is no possibility. There is no mathematical possibility where we match up on paper with their talent level. It just doesn't happen.
Division I players everywhere, right?
They had 15 of them a year ago. They probably got 15 or 16 of them signed this year. It just is what it is. We don't match up. And the one thing I love about this game is you don't play it on paper. There's a lot of stuff in this life you can't measure. And that's the stuff that shows up between the lines. And I don't know if you talk to their coaches, they may have executed well or not well or whatever. I mean, he's a classy guy. He gave us all the credit in the world, and I respect that. But I mean, bottom line is there's a lot of things you can't measure, and I want our kids to know, they do know, that I believe in them. I mean, that's on 1127 right there. That's my Twitter. It says, I realize what the rankings say. I'll take these guys any day.
Hey, I retweeted that. I saw you bet. That's all over the place.
I told our kids on Friday, on Saturday morning before we got on that bus, I said, I want to tell you something. First of all, Coach McQueen came up and talked to us, and I'm going to tell you what, that dude, there's a reason why he's a legend. I idolize him like no other. And, just to emulate those that have gone. He came and talked to our kids, and when he talks, it's like you're just waiting for the next word to come out of his mouth. It's the most unbelievable thing I've ever been around. So I don't know if Coach is listening, but I'm going to tell you what, sir, it's an honor to be at the same school you're at. I know that in no world is my name going to be mentioned in the same name as the same sentence as Bob McQueen, but it's an honor. But it was pretty cool. And then after he got done talking, I said, I'm going to tell you something. They're going to stick a microphone in my face after the game and ask me what I think about beating the Manvel Mavericks. And I said, do you know why I'm going to have something to say? Because I've practiced that in my office 1,000 times. 1,000 times I've practiced what I'm going to say. And our kids looked at me like I was cross-eyed. I said, I'm not getting on that bus and planning on going up there and doing a concession speech or, going up there and just trying to be graceful loser. And I mean, I'm going up there to win a football game. And I've already practiced. I know what I'm going to say when they stick a microphone in my mouth, when they ask me, how in the world did you beat the Manvel Mavericks? And I told them, and I said that. And I think that kind of got there like, oh, wow. I said, if you haven't practiced scoring touchdowns 1,000 times by now, you're letting us down. If you haven't practiced putting that big joker that's going to Miami or wherever he wants to go on his back, then you're letting us down. Because if you don't think about it and you don't practice it, there's no way it'll ever happen. So, and I did. I practiced. I sat in my office. I'd watch film until my eyes started crossing, and then I'd turn the film off and I'd practice about what I was going to say. How do you win gracefully? It's important to me to not beat my chest, and I don't want the guys beating their chest like they figured something out. You don't have to be a butthole, pardon my French, to be a champion. You can be a bad dude and not have. You can have class and be a bad dude.
Sure.
So. And sometimes that's a bigger dagger in the heart than when you are substandard with your character. When you beat somebody's tail and then go act like a turd, I mean, you give them something to think about. You just don't have to do that. So, that's the kind of thing and I did. I would sit in my office. I would practice trying to answer, knowing that I was going to be excited, fired up, try not to drop any, words that I shouldn't be dropping because, I get fired up and sometimes it gets away from me. But, I want those kids to know that I believe in them with all my heart, and that's coaching staff in this town and this. I mean, those people didn't go up there to watch them lose a football game.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, they'll love you whether we do or not, and at the end of the day, it's a game. But I'm going to tell you what, and I told them before the game, you are good enough. Don't go out there and try to do something that's beyond your skill set or beyond something you have to do because you don't have to. I don't know if we can beat them or not, but if anybody can, you can. And, that's – I think the kids are starting to believe in themselves, and that's when you have a chance to be good. That's when you have a chance to be good and do something special because, I mean, a lot of kids play hard. Playing hard at this level ain't enough. You have to have it, but it ain't enough. So I just want those kids to believe in what they're doing. I want them to believe in each other, and I want them to get back-to-back and go to war.
Well, and, they're doing it with class, too. I love the way you point that out because our team plays with class. They handle themselves. I mean, after every football game, they go over and salute the other team's band and team when they're playing their school song. I mean, they did it again Saturday night.
Right. They'll do it as long as I'm taking in breath.
That's absolutely.
That's not so people like me.
Sure.
We pray in restaurants not so people think, ooh, look at this guy. We play, and that was one of the deals I said, when I got this job, I was like, I need to know right now if it's going to be okay for us to talk about certain things with these kids because it's going to be important to me and it's going to be, we're going to do things with class. We're going to do things with a character caliber, is kind of how we refer to it. And these kids, they were already, don't get me wrong. I didn't come into a bunch of turds and transfix them into a bunch of angels. We got kids with character issues, but we also got kids, most of, and all of them are good kids.
Sure.
Some of them make bad choices sometimes, but not very often. But they were yes sir, no sir before I ever got here, and they're yes sir, no sir now. So this is not something I did, but that's just little gestures because it is important. It is important to show your opponents, not your enemies, your opponents, that this is a game.
Sure.
This is a game, and we respect you. I respect, the effort you put in. I mean, I'm going to tell you this. My heart broke when I got done playing. My heart broke into 90,000 pieces.
When you actually stopped.
When I got done playing,
off.
And that day's coming, and that day came for Manvel the other night. And so you don't have to go beat your chest and put on a show in front of them when their hearts are broken.
Sure.
You raise up your helmet, you show them respect, you say thank you for your time, and then you go on and you start getting ready for the next week. I mean, I smiled for 2 hours, and then it's time to go. So if this is our last week, our kids' hearts are going to break. If it ain't, we'll get to fight one more. I mean, it's just you can have class and still get it. That's going to carry them through the next 50 years of their life.
Sure.
It's not about, if I win a state championship or if I don't win a state championship, and I say I mean we, it's not going to make me a better husband. It's not going to make me a better dad. It's not going to make me a better brother or uncle. So, I mean, we're going to fight our guts out. We're going to come up with the very best plan. I have a hard time thinking. There are a lot of people that are smarter than me, but I think I'm willing to work just about as hard as anybody can work on this planet. But at the end of the day, it is a game, and we're going to fight our guts out. And we're going to try, but you don't have to drop what the most important things on the planet are, which is respect, integrity, character. You don't have to let that go to go chase your dreams.
No, I agree, and I got to tell you what, that just makes me even happier that you're our coach. But
I feel like I'm on a soapbox here. A little bit.
Hey, you go, man. This is your show, really, if you think about it.
No,
so I mean,
this
is your soapbox.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I apologize. I know these people want to talk about football, so.
Well, we can get to that now.
I got the director of facilities here, by the way. We played in the indoor the other night, and our kids really liked it. So
hey, I got to tell you what, that granite countertop bathroom up in the press box. I was thinking about putting in an order for that, up in our press box and seeing what happened there. But
there you go. It is Christmas. I'm talking about an indoor facility. You get the granite, I'll take an indoor.
Yeah, you got it. Okay.
It's cold out there today.
No kidding, man. Well, so about the game, I guess we can talk about the game. And I tell you what, I know you're a humble guy, and you definitely don't like to, you don't like the attention focused on you. I mean, it is about the whole team and everything. This game is going to go down in history in Wildcat, and we're talking about 100+ year history of Wildcat football. This is going to be one of those games they talk about literally for decades to come. I mean, it was a Jack the Giant killer game. It was like 1979 when we beat Louisville 3-0, and they were supposed to beat the tar out of us.
Well, I hope people talk about it for about 4 more days because we got another giant. There's another giant waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
I think it is cool for everybody. But I mean, I've told the kids stay off social media because last thing I need is our kids thinking they've got something figured out because you lose your edge. You lose your razor's edge. Yes, I'm a modest guy, but I also know about the time I start thinking I got something figured out, somebody's going to start gaining ground on me. And that turns my stomach that a choice that I make or a mental lapse that I make would cost this town, this team, this community something like this.
Sure.
There are no guarantees, and we're playing another in my opinion, Foster's better than Manvel. So I know people might go, whoop, but I mean, one of them was ranked number 3 and the other one was ranked number 4, and those rankings are put by people that may or may not have ever even played football. So if I had to pick in a fight, I'm probably going to take Foster over Manvel. They're bigger. They're probably not as athletic at some spots, but they're bigger. Their scheme is a little bit more difficult to defend as far as a defensive perspective. They're ridiculous good. So while I hope that this game is referred to, I hope it's not. In my opinion, if the biggest thing we do this year is beat Manvel, I will have failed this community, this town. I mean, I think there's bigger and better things that could happen throughout this season. So, I mean, it had to be a fun game to watch. I get all that, and people, they're going to refer to that, and I get that. But we've got a humongous game coming up this week against a humongous opponent. I mean, their smallest guy on the offensive line. And, again, early in the week, all I do is look at their offense because I'm a defensive guy. I always have been. I'll look at their defense later on in the week and sit there and go, ooh, I'm sure. But their smallest guy on their offensive line is about 6'2.5" and about 295. He's the baby. He's the runt.
That's big.
They go from there to 6'7", 315. So, I mean, there are no slaps at this point, Wildcats included. But I mean, I told our kids the biggest thing we do this season if the most exciting thing we do is beat the Manvel Mavericks, then we've dropped the ball somewhere.
Right.
We have missed the boat if that's going to be the highlight of our season. Now, it may very well be. I mean, this is a good team we got playing, and you know me, I'm a I'm a half-empty kind of guy until I feel like I've got my ducks in a row and we got these kids prepared and ready to go. So, that's the only way I feel like I try to stay sharp. I've never been classified as a sharp guy, but, that's my process. My process is death and damnation early on in the week and just, trying to find – I'll stay up and I'll turn over every stone I can find to try to find something. And, they're good. But while I agree with you, I think people refer to it, I don't want that to be the game of the century. I do not want it. I think there's some bigger games out there.
Well, and obviously none of us wants to lose next week either. We were up against an opponent that, like you said, on paper was supposed to beat us. And to me, that first, we lost we won the coin toss.
No, we lost.
We lost it, and they picked to go first.
He said, right? I want the ball.
So that first play of the game, right?
Yep.
We make them fumble the ball.
Yep, and we let it lay on the ground.
Well, you're right. Okay, you are a glass half empty kind of guy. I thought that was a big positive to me.
To me, all I saw was a defensive touchdown on the first play of the game. Now you start rattling the cage pretty early. That gets them completely out of their. That gets them completely out of their mode, and I don't know if that helps. I mean, obviously points help you, but, that's what I see. I see missed opportunity right there because if we're ever going to be great, if we're ever going to be referred to as one of the best teams to ever come through Temple, and we're not yet. We're not. There's been too many good teams. Well, I told the kids, I'll let you know when you're good. Right now, you're not good. Right now, you're a group that fights hard. We still haven't played our best football. I don't know, and that's going to be the telltale for me is how much these kids want it, how much are they committed, where is their head at? Because, in my opinion, the best game we played is against Port Arthur Memorial. I know that game last night was exciting, but we made a bunch of mistakes. Busted kickoff coverage, busted coverages. We give up a 75-yard touchdown on a coverage that we learn when they're ninth graders at Temple High School. That is unacceptable on any level ever, and that's not something I can stomach because I know I have enough foresight to know that that's the stuff that costs you in big games, and it could have cost us the other night.
Sure.
We had some kids and we're playing good team. Playing good team football right now, but that's the stuff that costs you. Our offense stepped up when our defense made a mistake, and vice versa, and that's good team football. But those mistakes don't have to happen. Mental mistakes, that's a choice. Being strong, a couple things. Big is big. Big is just big. Big. You show me a guy that's big, I'll show you a guy that hits the ground harder. Strength is a choice. Mental alertness, making mistakes, that's a choice. We have to master the things that are a choice. All right, we have to master the things that don't take talent. I can't put talent into these boys' body.
Right.
I can't put offensive, defensive scheme. I can't put willingness to fight till you can't breathe, hardly breathe. The things that don't require talent are the things we have to master if we're ever going to win big and be considered in the same breath as some of these teams that have come through here over the years. So that's where we're at. We played hard the other night, but at some point, hard ain't going to be good enough. You've got to play hard to even have a chance, but we've got to play well consistently. We play like gangbusters at times, and then I scratch my head at times, I don't have any hair follicles, and the 6 I got are falling out because it just drives me crazy.
Yeah.
So,
that game, and you're right. I saw the 75-yard touchdown. I saw all that, but I also saw some of the best plays I've ever seen on a football field, like you said. We did have both. We had Hextall made a catch around another player for a touchdown. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before at any level.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable.
It's that kid, and again, he's going to be scary. He's a junior, and he's still trying to figure out who he is and what he's about. And, he's one of those kids that when – he's bought in. I'm not going to tell you that, but there's sometimes that his mental intensity will ebb and flow a little bit, and I saw him turn it on, and I saw it in his eyes before the game because to me the eyes are the window of your soul. You don't have to tell me. I always have a saying with the kids: what you do speaks so loudly, I don't listen to what you say anyway. Don't tell me what you're going to go do.
Right.
Show me what I'm Missouri. I'm the show me state.
Right.
You know what I mean? So. I just know that kid had a different look in his eyes the other night, and looky. He made some unbelievable plays, and he's almost a 1,000-yard receiver this year. So don't get me wrong, he's had good games.
Sure.
But I just saw a different look in his eyes the other night, and he just kind of looked at you like he was looking right through you, and I said, "Whoo." I like that look. So, and he went out there and he made some unbelievable plays. I thought Zach Rumpel played as good a game as I've seen Zach play. I even told him, I was like, I thought that hair was making you weak because the last couple of weeks, while he plays good, Zach's a good football player.
Sure.
He had a different look in his eye before the game the other night. Now it's can you rinse and repeat? Can you back that up? I mean, I think a lot of the knock on us now is we can't sustain that. We beat the Giants, so now, oh my gosh, we're going to be, hungover. We're not going to be focused because that was the game of the century. That was not the state championship game. That was not the state championship game. That game comes 13 days from now with two teams that earned their way there. We're not going to get to go there if we don't. If we play like we played the other night, we won't go to AT&T again. We're going to have to put the best effort on the field that we've had, period, the end. I don't care about rankings. I don't care about numbers. I don't care what people think about who should win. All right? We proved that who should win don't always happen. But we've only proved it, we can only be 1-0 or 0-1 next week. I don't care what happened last week.
Right.
I don't care what happened last year. I felt like we come out flat twice against opponents we beat a year ago. And so I told them it is illegal. I will run your butt if you refer to the 2015 Temple Wildcats as we. It's no longer we. It's they.
Right.
It's they. Because I'm tired of us coming out flat because we beat somebody a year ago and we think they're going to roll over and die. They don't happen. They don't happen at this level. We're not going to surprise Foster. The 2015 Wildcats, beat them a year ago.
Right.
Okay. Taquan Graham is sitting right over there, and I told him today, you're not allowed to say we. That was he. You have to refer to you last year as he. If I hear you say we or I or me, I'm going to hit you in the throat, and then you're going to run. You know what I mean? So we just got to get that out of our system and be the best us we can be. All right, and then let them. 2015 Temple Wildcats, let them have the accolades that they got, and we got to go earn ours this year.
Yeah, no kidding. And Foster, what 14-0. They beat a good Dripping Springs team last week, over 500 some odd yards of offense.
Yeah.
What do we expect from them? You talked about the size of their line.
They've got the best receiving wide receiver tandem in the state of Texas, in my opinion, the best. They got a C.D. Lamb kid that I don't know. There's no telling how many offers he has. He's big. He's fast. He's probably one of the best receivers I've seen in high school. And he's got. I'll tell you this way. He's got 90 catches for 1,911 yards.
Holy, that's got to be close to a record. That's amazing.
And then they've got another one. He's got 32 touchdowns. And then they've got another kid.
In 1 year.
They've got another kid that has 82 receptions.
Wow.
82 receptions and probably 12,500. And he's got another 15 or 20. I don't know. I mean, he's got another 15 or so touchdowns. The quarterback is passed for 39, 80 something. He's about 100 yards off of being a 4,000 yard passer and 44 touchdowns. So, I mean, these people do what they do. They got about a 220-pound running back that has – he's over a 1,000-yard rusher. He's probably 1,500 yards rusher somewhere in there. I mean, I'm probably off a little bit. But just all-around complete offense. I mean, they formation you did there humongous up front. So they let those guys kind of do their due. Not many people get pressure on him when that quarterback pats the ball. He's got two of the best receivers I've seen in high school football. And the other ones aren't broke, but those two, it's unbelievable. And people try to double cover them. When you play that kind of talent, it's like you have to respect it.
Sure.
I'd rather not have to defend it, but you do have to respect it. So, we're going to have to come up with a good plan. But anybody thinks we got a ticket punch to AT&T Stadium is outside of their left-handed rocker. So, we've got our work cut out for us, and again, we're going to try to go play Temple Wildcat football, which is hit you in the mouth, play more consistently well than we've done, and let it go from there. That's all you can do.
Sure.
We're not going to get tricky. We're going to go out there and play good old-fashioned smash mouth football, try to, and see if we can't cover somebody, and see if we can't get some pressure, and just see if we can't do some things.
That's right. Well, and it's going to be a daytime game.
Yep.
2:00 in the afternoon, right?
Yes, sir.
And I've looked at the weather. It looks like it's going to be about 60 degrees and sunny. I mean, it's going to be nice weather.
Oh,
right?
yeah. It'll be good. It's supposed to be colder later in the week, and then it's supposed to warm up a little bit on Saturday. So, we look into that. I mean, AT&T, they're not available. The 4-stars, I mean, they wanted us to go to NRG. I'm not going 20 miles from their backyard, so Alamo Dome, the only available slot was again at 10 a.m. I don't want to have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and go do that kind of stuff. So, I mean, this was the best option. It's about 20 miles, 25 miles from being right in the middle.
Sure.
So
same surface as ours? Or,
same surface,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Same surface. It'll be outdoor. There'll be some elements, but like you said, I think the wind's supposed to be blowing 5 miles an hour, so it's nil, if any.
And we played there before.
Played there 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, our sophomores have been there. None of our other kids have been there, but I mean, it'll be a good venue. It'll be fun. It'll be a good day to watch some high school, hopefully some good high school football.
Well, and our job, the radio station, the Inside Wildcat Football Facebook page, etc., it's going to be our job to see how many blue shirts. Are we the home team? We're the home team. So we need to get as many blue shirts in the stands as we can get, because at least
I'll tell you what. Tell the Temple Wildcat Nation that they can't, and see what you get.
Yeah,
I'll challenge them right now. Y'all can't fill that thing up. Y'all can't. And I hope they're a Temple Wildcat. That's our deal this year. Is we've been told we aren't supposed to be playing right now. We were going to try to battle for maybe a district championship, play a round or two. I mean, we've read every week that Port Arthur was heavy favorites. I mean, for the last several weeks,
Sure.
we were 50-50 maybe against Corsicana. We didn't have a chance most of the time, and so our whole deal right now is, I tell them you can't, because that's all they heard. That's all they heard. You can't, and they say I will. And then they're getting to where they start to believe it when they say it. And you hear there's a different tone in somebody's voice when they say something they believe in. So I'm telling the Wildcat Nation, y'all can't, and I hope there's a lot of people out there screaming at the radio, I will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think you might just get your wish. And one of the things I noticed Saturday night, Coach, when I was walking down there and saw you guys down there on the field, and from the players up to our coaches, you guys seemed very businesslike, very relaxed, really. I mean, nobody seemed nervous. Everybody seemed like they were ready to do their job. I mean, I even saw some of the players down in the tunnel. Nobody had stars in their eyes. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It just seemed very businesslike.
If you know why you're doing what you're doing, and we talked about it all week long, by the way, because I felt we were a little starstruck in 14 when we walked up in there. We watched the game the night before. We went up early and watched the game. But until you get on that field and look up at that 180-foot TV or whatever the heck Jerry's got hanging in that daggum thing, I mean, I can't simulate that in practice. I can't. I rode into a pep rally on a helicopter, but I can't get somebody to hang a 180-foot TV from a helicopter for 2 hours a day. So, just to try to. So what we did is instead of trying to downplay what it is, we tried to attack of why are we doing what we're doing. If we're really, truly, if you think I signed up to go to AT&T Stadium so we could look at a big TV, then you are missing the mission of what I want, what we as coaches want.
Sure.
If you're down there to go really say I will, if really go pour your guts on the line, then you won't even see that daggum thing. If you know why you're doing what you're doing, if you know what your purpose is on this planet, then all the bells and whistles, it's hard to distract a man that's truly on a mission. That's truly on a mission, and so we tried to play that up. There's going to be a big TV there, okay? I don't know how to help that. They're probably not going to turn it off for Coach Stewart.
Right.
They're probably not. There's people that pay a lot of money. They pay $19 to go use a bathroom soap at Jerry World because they charge for everything, and they're going to want to go up there, and they're going to want to watch one of the biggest TVs probably on the planet. I don't know, but if you're on a mission, it don't matter. And so I thought our kids did a relatively good job, and that's kind of why we were businesslike. We didn't go up there so they could, take selfies, and that's for people that are going there to enjoy the game to do. I told them if we get to walk the field, I don't want to see cell phones out there. If the highlight of your day is taking a selfie under the on the turf, I mean we can do that after the game.
Sure.
So. Anyway, I thought the kids handled it pretty well, but it is. We are. This is a blue collar town, and I really want to stress who we are and what we're about. And to me, I have a blue collar mentality. Money don't make the world go round, and if you have it, great. If you don't, it ain't going. You can't take it with you. So
sure.
The stuff you can take with you and the stuff you leave behind you can't buy that anyway. So, I don't know. I thought the kids handled it pretty well. I think they're starting to drink the Kool-Aid a little bit, and that'll be a good thing. And we got to figure out a way to play a little better. That's on me as a coach. So. That's going to be my mission this week is to try to get us playing well more consistently.
Sure. Well, I hope you don't hold it against me, man. I took a lot of selfies Saturday night.
You didn't have to go get in a metaphorical fist fight with a 6'4" 6'4", 295-pound tackle either.
Right.
You know, that you're the one supposed to be taking selfies.
Right. Well, do we have a pep rally scheduled this week yet?
Do
we know?
Wendy's still working on that. I hadn't got confirmation. There will be one Friday.
Okay.
It's kind of a TBA deal right now. I think she was working on a couple different options. So
we'll get that
on Wildcat.strong and you know, the quarterback club and the Facebook page. So as soon as I get word on that, we'll do that.
All right, man. Well, once again, I know what a pain it probably is to come out here, and of course I know you appreciate your fan base too, and I can't imagine how many people we probably got listening tonight because I've been advertising for this all day long. But anyway, we want to thank you again for your time. We are just as pleased as we can be and proud of you and our boys.
Well, they get the credit. I'm just trying not to screw them up.
Well, you're doing a good job of not screwing them up. I can tell you that right now. So we will see you in a few days, man. We'll see you at the pep rally, and then we'll see you again on Saturday.
Okay.
And once again, thanks a lot. This has been Alan Roark. We've got Kent Boyd, Assistant Superintendent, and Lennon Coley coming up after the break. And we've got whatever information we need to pass on to the fans about Saturday, et cetera. We'll have that afterwards. And once again, we're live here at Wings Pizza and Things. This is Inside Wildcat Football. We'll be back shortly.
Go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue.